All right, folks, we're back from the break. Thank you for watching that 2-minute commercial period, but we are ready to go now with the other semifinals. It's SortOf versus Neeb. This blows me away because neither Nurchio nor Snoot made it to the semifinals, and they were like my favorites. Not saying that they were the best or anything, but they were my favorites to get to the semifinals. So to see neither, I mean, I would get it if just one made it, but neither is kind of surprising. But we do have a little bit of Nurchio as SortOf is rocking his portrait, so in a small way, Nurchio still made it to the semifinals.
Spirit of Nurchio. Got it.
What's great about this too is this ends up guaranteeing a TvZ or a TvP grand finals. So it's not going to be some awkward mirror matchup to, I guess, tie up the tournament, which is great. But this is a brand new best of 5. Again, this is a Corsair tournament powered by Twitch. Thank you both for helping us give us the money to pay the admins, to pay the players, and to create this awesome prize pool for this event. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let's get into the action. Spawning in the bottom right, he is the red Zerg player, none other than SortOf.
In the bottom left is the blue Protoss. He is Ting's Neeb.
Now, what's kind of cool about both these guys, by the way, just to get this out of the way, Neeb has mentioned he wants to go back to Korea at some point. Maybe not for an extended period of time, but get back to the team house that we got going and all that, which would be awesome. SortOf also expressed some interest, depending on, I guess, how his finances go through the year. And I think it'd be really cool if both these guys ended up in the house, like, midsummer or something, try Season 2 GSL. I don't know, like, that'd be really cool.
It would be really cool. I actually had a dream I was back in Korea. It was great.
Well, you mentioned you could fly there with your rewards points, right? Get that bonus trip?
It's not as cheap as I thought it was. I definitely misread. I knew it's got to be a misreading somewhere for being as cheap as it was, but it is still cheaper. But yeah, the difficulty is more about finding time where I'm not already traveling someplace else.
Get you on the ground as a reporter.
Reporting live as they cook.
I mean, if you think about it, because if we go to TwitchCon this year, you're already on the West Coast. You can just hop the plane from there over to Korea.
Oh, I'll probably go before that because we have Austin in late April, and then there's nothing actually until Montreal so far. Anyway, something might pop up. So we'll see. Because Montreal's in like September, I think. The whole 3 months, man.
Far away.
That is pretty far away. I think cut up on some of the shout-outs. We do have, I guess, I don't remember where we stopped off, but Gun and Gray for 5 months. The Chosen One cheered 100 bits. Wim85 subscribed. I think I shouted that out. Generic User 2 resub for 10 months. And Non-Mint resub for 12 months. Partoof Anniversary. It's hard to say.
Partoof?
Proud to support the best StarCraft channel on the planet.
Nice. Thanks for that. Thanks for that ego boost. We needed it. And of course, at the top, we got that lovely banner still flying.
Yep.
I definitely remember we were really against bits for a while. And I'm still not the biggest fan of them, but I'm glad to see that at least our fans are enjoying using them, because that was a big concern for me, that we'd finally turn on bits, we'd give in to the man, and nobody would end up using them.
Twitch is the man now. They've made it.
I mean, million viewers in CS:GO. I'm just saying.
Yo, that was pretty cool. I actually listened to that finals, and I don't even really like or understand CS:GO, but...
Well, what's huge for that is that's a million people willing to use Twitch. So it doesn't matter that it wasn't StarCraft or RuneScape or whatever your favorite game was, because it's more people coming to the service that will eventually maybe lead to these other games. So it's like sad because StarCraft still isn't going to be revitalized anytime soon by this, but it's hype to see the industry growing and more potential for viewership.
It's true. I think it was just such a unique situation that, like, even I was tuning in for this. Like, it really was perfect culmination to get people who aren't even into CS:GO actually watching it.
Is there a wolf head down here?
Yeah.
Why?
Aesthetics, man. Aesthetics.
Wait, is something on the other side? Oh, it's still a wolf. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Neeb, by the way, is going for a Dark Shrine. I would say that this is more conventional, more what we expected. The series where he played versus Snoot, I exclaimed that I thought Neeb was playing a bit different than what we expect. But Dark Templar with a Warp Prism, a little bit of control, make those into Archons later. These are the things that make Neeb a really great player, and I think we'll get a lot of damage done, even if SortOf is ready for it.
He always skips his Mothership Core, which means this is gonna, like, you know, be a little bit faster of a build, but it means he's always, like, playing so dangerous. If SortOf notices this or remembers this or whatever, he could really have used the early game. But it's not the case here. SortOf obviously went for 3 hatcheries. He's he knows what the build is. He got support followers on the way. He'll be able to defend it no problem. But Neeb even takes a pretty quick third base even before the aggression gets started. It's the macro game, through and through.
Well, the Warp Prism's heading over to that third really quick. Again, detection will be here. This isn't the question of like whether he'll see the DTs or not. It is so whether you can fight them, because they do so much damage so quickly.
Yeah, because they're not wearing any gold.
Yeah, because they're not wearing any gold.
They're not wearing the way down.
Sometimes their throwback conversations are stupid, but I hate this one because it actually does make a bit of sense, right? Like this.
They're wearing nothing but a cape. They're flashing everybody.
Wearing nothing but the cape and the hopes of Protoss. Actually, I really love how they do have different types of blades. Some don't actually have the scythe. Some get like the little warp blades too. Like
this is the one stupid thing that Zombies gets angry about. Actually, like there's no good reason for me to get angry that they have different blades, but I think it's dumb that they're the only ones technically. Jealousy, I suppose.
Goliaths have different animations too, although they're not in multiplayer, I guess. But
I was gonna say in Brood War, like, what are you talking about?
No, like the Goliaths in this, when they get hold up on that thought for a moment. These queens catch that warp prism, and he almost loses both the Archons. Oh, heart attack for Neeb for sure.
How did he not lose that warp prism?
Oh my goodness. Okay, anyways, yeah, Goliaths have different paint jobs. So some will get spawned with like shark teeth on the cockpit. Some will have flames. Like
doesn't count. Doesn't matter if it's not 1v1.
Okay.
For these purposes.
Okay.
Know how much you love.
Sorry for knowing stuff about the game. That's my bad.
Yeah, about the game that only casuals play. I mean, granted, most of the casuals play, but whatever.
I'm not even talking co-op. I was talking campaign. I don't have any. I actually don't know.
Oh.
If the Goliaths Swan makes have different animations.
Does campaign not beat out co-op in number of people played? I mean, concurrence, I think it would. Like co-op would beat it, right? But like overall, wouldn't campaign win out?
I don't know actually, because a lot of people who play the latter and stream this game have never played the campaign.
Yeah, but people who stream this game are a very, very small section. Like I know for me, I only brought Brood War because I wanted to play the campaign.
Yeah. Which, by the way, as we learned, is way harder than we remember. Trying to race that to the legacy launch.
See, back when I played Brood War initially, I didn't care about winning.
Oh, he's got to get that queen to save the Archons. He rushes back in but loses one.
Like that sucks. But yeah, I didn't mind playing 30 minutes where I wasn't doing anything at all and eventually winning. That wasn't a failure in my eyes.
No rush 30-minute maps were the greatest things ever invented.
But now it is. Like I'm just like I'm not beating this campaign fast enough.
I do wonder how crazy it would be to have two top pros play like a no-rush 20-minute game. So like there's no harass. You play as greedy as you want for 20 minutes.
I'm pretty sure we've seen games that are pretty close to that.
Yeah, but
that's 20 minutes. That's pretty insane. That'd be like 5 bases, 6 bases even.
But it's the difference of the rules allowing it to happen, right? Like you both kind of play that almost Cold War style. Like I won't attack you, you won't attack me, but we could both kill each other, so we won't attack.
That's true.
I think Protoss would probably win out most of the time, just thinking on it actually.
Well, if they knew that they could do that, they would just get carriers. It's whose endgame army is the best, and I think it still would be.
I think Terran could actually beat out. Just because new battlecruisers and cyclones are pretty gross, but I honestly don't know. We've never seen it, so I wouldn't know. But I do want to point out, SortOf has done a great job taking his side of the map. First off, he did a pretty good job deflecting the attacks out of Neeb. Honestly, those Archons didn't get nearly as many drone kills as we normally see. The Lings died to the DTs was kind of eh. And of course, that Queen killing one of the Archons was fantastic. But it's more to the point that SortOf deflected this, so he was able to very casually take a fourth, get a lot of creep spread on the map, and move towards Hive. So Neeb has a good army supply. His army type's not going to be too bad either. But this is a game where SortOf has gotten to run away with, well, maybe not a no-rush 20-minute scenario, but hey, I got to play greedy for the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah. I mean, I like super greed until he made like 10 more drones, because 85 is pretty bad. In fact,
it's pretty good, depending on your point of view.
Well, yeah, exactly. I meant, you know, bad isn't good, but now I'm thinking on it, and it might actually just be straight up bad. Like, that's maybe too many drones. If he can't hold right here, we don't flame, but the flame counterattack is really good.
Yeah, the Lings kill all the stalkers. They got 9 of the probes. They're going to get a surround on the Nexus. +1 melee's helping chip through this very quickly. SortOf is getting away with a lot, and Neeb just not ready for this.
Yeah, he has to pull back entirely. He doesn't want to be focusing in 2 different locations on such a delicate army, and that means SortOf is going to really reap the rewards of 85 drones. I mean, he's even getting Neural Parasite, which I don't really I just don't like it. I don't like. We've never seen it actually be useful. But whatever. Let's all hype it up.
I think there's cool potential for it. We'll see. Of course, if for nothing else, just to remove the immortals from the equation temporarily, might not even be too bad. But there's so many legs, there's so many banlings. Force fields aren't going to push him back for the time being. Corrosive Biles, the trail might be not bad, but as those infestors pop, they actually won't have the energy for this. Actually, he never went for pathogen glands. He went straight to neural. Wait, what? He went straight to neural? I just assumed pathogen glands was already done.
Yes, he went straight to neural. Okay, well, he might be able to buy enough time to get energy for it. We'll see. It's a very strong army, and the force fields are pretty decent.
But the surround does force him to concave together, and that means that those Corsair Biles hit most of the central part of the army. However, as you said, yeah, he needs time for the energy, and even then, like, will that matter? Sort of. I thought was in total control of this game, but maybe on this counterattack, starting to lose some of that control. We got some fungal growths going out, but the army supplies just diminished greatly. We're nowhere close to ultras. 36 lings are coming out. Sort of just exhausted his larva bank more than his mineral bank.
Yeah. I think he gave a little bit too much credit to that ling run by pulling him back. I mean,
yeah.
we kind of did too.
I did too, yeah.
It's, otherwise, I don't think he invests the things that he did. I don't think he takes an engagement. He probably, like, gives up a base if he's really too scared. And, well, a lot of things are different, but the Protoss army turned out to be too good, and this is going to be game. Even the Ultras come out. They won't have plating, and Immortals can chunk through Ultras with plating.
Oh, yeah. Archons, Sockers, and Immortals, even with plating, will still chunk through Ultralisks. Like, these are not casual units. He will kill the Archons on the front line, which is kind of nice. A couple infested Terrans out of desperation, but yeah. GG Neeb will take map number 1. I'm a little surprised by that, if we're going to be honest.
I mean, it's not surprising Neeb take the first game, but...
Well, okay, just the course of the game, I mean, you had the DTs get deflected really well. The Archons shut down pretty quick. The Lings got really good counter damage, and I know there was more going on than these 3 points, but these were the 3 big points to me that made it look like SortOf was way further ahead than he was.
Yeah. Well, it's just those times where your army is at a weak point until you tech up, and Protoss isn't. So it sucks to lose a game like that, though, because I think SortOf thought he was in a very easy, good, defendable position. Oh well.
I have to retweet the thing you made.
You did. Told me to retweet it. You said you'd retweet it.
I know. I'm broken promises. I know. I followed up. I just retweeted it. I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna retweet on the BaseTradeTV Twitter too.
Is everyone tagged? And oh my god. Correctly? It's amazing.
I'm sorry, Zombie Grub. I didn't mean to let you down.
So let down right now. Holy shit.
All right, Underground's gonna be the next map.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
I don't know. Why? Neeb's gonna go carriers again.
Yeah, maybe. That's a good point because it was SortOf's map pick. I do want to guilt one of the people in chat though. If you are still listening, Miss Magitech, I notice you don't have a sub badge next to your name.
Oh.
And I would imagine somebody who wants to keep a good relationship working at Corsair with us who are running the Corsair events would want to support us a little bit. I'm just kidding. I love
rude.
No, it is. I love Miss Magitech though. She actually, for those who don't know, just recently got hired at Corsair. I'm really excited because it's another person who does StarCraft working there, and I'm just giving her a hard time. There's actually, don't sub. I'll be more mad if you sub to me after a thing like that. Don't give in to peer pressure.
You can't say that now. Like the moment that you start backpedaling and saying that you were kidding is the moment that everyone feels even guilty, like more guilty.
No, see, but the thing is, like, she's got to be strong. Don't give in to peer pressure. Don't give in to bullying.
Okay,
That's
so
like
now
what
you're
they
saying
teach
that
you.
she's like, if she wants to do a nice thing, she's not strong. Now you're
Yeah.
just putting her in a really complicated
Yeah, I'm
position.
saying, look, don't be weak. Don't be sub to the. Don't sub to the channel.
Oh, God. Oh my God.
I think it's for the rest of you. Don't do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 for the semifinals. Spawning here on the bottom left side of Undergrounds. Might be a really good map for him. We'll find out. It's going to be the red Protoss Tings Neeb.
Horizontal position. In the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, he is SortOf. I swear there's no other positions. Blizzard's lying. Don't believe their lies.
All
right. Yeah, okay.
That's not where I didn't think this was going to start becoming like a conspiracy theory. They're lying to us. Why do they keep lying? Show us the truth. Give us the cross spawns.
Yeah, give us cross spawn. I haven't even seen vertical spawn yet. Which I don't think is going to be much more interesting than horizontal, but cross would be very interesting. That's where like all the rocks in the middle of the map were kind of important. Whatever. I don't care anymore.
I think you do. I think you've got a little bit more you need to get out of your system there, Zombie Grub.
This is nothing compared to when Blizzard had yet fixed those bugs after releasing Legacy of the Void. That's when I really couldn't let things go.
Oh, how about the ladder games on like Invader and stuff where the mineral patches were misplaced on the ladder, not the map test, but the ladder, so people couldn't take their thirds.
So many. I made a list, and they fixed like 75% of them, and then I just let the other ones go. But anyway.
Yeah, Neeb's gonna scout and confirm that it is gonna be horizontal. Of course, sort of had already done this with this overlord coming across the map. For reasons
not nearly as greedy.
Well, for reasons we spoke about earlier too, he takes the base out here. I really like. This will work out a little bit better because of spawn locations, but the question for me, like, it's so tough. It's a quick glance at these bases, and you're like, oh, you should take all 3 of these spinny bases here and be no problem. But if you do, again, Neeb could just position like 2 adepts on the top of this. We saw Hellions could even reach from this little corner too. I mean, there's so many ways where this base is a very dangerous base to take.
Yeah, it really is.
Now, with the Twilight Council finishing, I am wondering if Neeb will be going for those DTs again. They were so ineffective in Game 1.
Maybe. He can mix things up and try and go for his Enclaves. It's weird because the way that he's hiding it, you would automatically think DTs, but funnily enough, since it's such a common build order, pros don't care about hiding DTs anymore. So this actually makes me feel like he would go for mass gateways, also with that same pylon. We'll see. It's like right now would be around the time he throws the Theodore Shrine down. So, okay. So it is kind of hidden. But I just don't know if there's a purpose to that. Most Zergs are preempting build. I don't know. Yeah, SortOf takes the 3rd base. I think he's a lot safer there. And should be taking the gold base as his 4th. I would say.
People point out Miss Magic Attack is currently AFK. So that's even worse. That's worse than not being subbed to the channel. You can't even be bothered to watch the channel? Jesus Christ.
Be so mean to her, man.
Can we get her fired, please? Hello? How do I call the sponsors?
She
Wait.
doesn't want this much attention. You're like calling him a lurker right now.
Well, I mean, I'd be doing this if it was George or anyone else. Don't be sexist. It's nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman.
There's nothing, anything I said that was about being a woman.
You said she, and I'm pretty sure that's a pretty definitive way to point out she's a woman.
There's nothing specifying that was the issue, is that she was a woman. The issue is that she didn't want this.
You've turned it into an issue now. Way to go.
No, I think you did.
No, I'm pretty sure I was fine,
really
and then you made this an issue.
Maybe it is sexist. Like, you brought up the word.
Okay, by the way, Dark Shrine finished up, and this might work out better this game around. Maybe it'll be just as bad. We'll find out in a moment. SortOf does have detection in his bases, so there's no getting caught off guard by this. Not at least blindly and totally screwed. But again, like this killed Lings at best last game.
Yeah, it doesn't have to do extreme amounts of damage to be worthwhile, as long as you don't lose the Warp Prism and do it. Like, that's when things are just like, okay, you screwed up real bad. Your build's terrible. And he did almost lose the Warp Prism. So. Again, taking a lot of pot shots, but taking the chance the lair isn't done, and it's not done. So he's gonna get a freebie third.
Okay, so the DT's infinitely better second time around. This sends SortOf
really
off to go for a counterattack, but the problem still persists where there might be a DT at home defending, right? Like, this could be bad news bears. Getting the base snipe was nice, but he also might get this one too, because the Lings went across the map, they can actually just focus on the Spore Crawler again.
Well, he's gonna try to protect the Spore Crawler with the drones, so that means the drones would go down. The Queens could also go down. There's a Spine Crawler finishing up. He would have to kill the Spore, but he scouts that the lair is there, so an Overseer would have been, it would have been late. He could have killed more.
The Spore Crawler did enough damage to the Warp Prism too to drive it back, which is great. But man, that was another moment where you're just like, it could have been very bad.
Right. SortOf takes a later third base in a forward position now too, which is just it apparently is going to be common amongst the Zergs, but I think it's always dangerous to do this.
Yeah, the Archons coming in aren't going to find the freebie at the natural to retake, but Fortunately for SortOf, he'll at least see this coming, so the main base should be protected, but I say this with an asterisk because the army to fight with is still fairly limited. Like, the Queen's killing the War Prism, that's going to end the attack before anything else. And there's enough Queens to certainly do that.
Go very deep here. Okay. Okie dokie.
So he's playing safe, he's playing it calm, he's playing it cool. The Spore Crawler might catch this, he sees it move. I like that Neeb's not playing complacent with this, because any mistakes...
Any mistakes and he loses a very key scouting tool and pressure tool. He doesn't want to be completely blinded, even if it is for just a minute. Oh, the pick up micro.
6 range. Nice micro.
It's hey, it's still talent right there.
Like, I move Marines. My micro's pretty sick. Look at me go. I hit that T button 2 actions per minute. Thank you very much.
That's what I tell all my opponents.
That's why I play mech, so I can't get judged. They're too busy being mad to judge me.
I was gonna say, when do you get judged harder? I was on such full tilt like yesterday on ladder. I don't know why. I usually don't tilt that bad on ladder, but every single game I was like, it's not worth GG. And this guy played really bad. I should have won. Like, I was full intro mode.
Hold up, there's some interesting stuff happening right now.
Know.
What is this production tab? Swarm Host Dorino's on the way.
SortOf is a guy that's been experimenting before with Swarm Hosts, and he might be thinking there's a, like, you know, with the bases being like they are, there's an opportunity to send his Locust into the natural, but if he does that and Neeb just attacks, he won't have an army. We'll have Bands.
Well, that's another part of this where it becomes kind of cool too, though, because the Locust, okay, yeah, you might send them out. The mistake you would make is sending all of them out. Like with 8 Swarm Hosts, I'd say 4 to 6 at most. You want to have a couple for a follow-up attack, but also to possibly defend with, and there we go. SortOf's actually going to split these up. Again, if you send all of them at once, it's kind of cool. It's like a big one-hit wonder, but it then puts you on cooldown for a full minute, and you get nothing for a minute. So Overcharge is going to pop. Locusts are going to kill a couple of pylons. They won't get too much for this, but there is that second wave ready to go.
But Neeb is also pressuring at the front, so SortOf really has to decide if it's worth splitting up the Swarm Host, all on one side, all on the other.
Oh.
It's... I don't know to worry.
Yeah, he used the second wave to, I guess, push that back. I didn't realize that Locusts have been spent over there. So, big Zealot warp into the natural base while this goes on. This is going to kill the hatchery. There's no doubt about it because there's a push on the front lines and SortOf, you got to really pick where do you send that army.
Yeah,
the bandits go back to the main. It's not going to be in time, or will it? Oh my God!
The worst type of army unit to have to defend 2 places at once. That hatch is going to go down at some point. Another small warpin will do it.
But here's the issue, the biggest issue with this, right? Like, okay, you just walk away, and then you know that for the next 40 some odd seconds, SortOf's not going to have those.
Like, Neeb going for double Stargate, I don't think is a response to Swarm Host, but having like 10 Phoenixes attacking them while they're in the air might help.
Yeah, Locusts only have like what 40 health or something, and they're light units, so the Phoenix would tear right through them, no doubt about it. But right now, I don't think there's a lot of thought going into those Stargates for the time being. Big warp-ins to try and kill the natural, again, might be on his mind more than anything else. Of course, right now, microing is hard on the front lines. It's a little bit scary. This Crystal Bow's looking to hit. It's kind of hard to see where they're landing on this map, actually.
Little. He's kind of put himself into a corner, but I think he really thinks his army's strong enough to take
but if he goes in the corner, then he can't run away from the Locust, and that's going to be a problem. So as we see, they pounce on the bottom side. Stalkers get annihilated. Then Archon's going to die, too. He's actually crushing the top left side with the Ravagers. The Immortal's still standing strong, but they're all out of barriers. Everything's on cooldown. Crystal Bow's going to land once more. Oh, it's a blanket curtain of death. Those Locusts, by the way, killed the army. So these Swarm Hosts are alive and ready to go for another round. How long till their cooldown's up, though? 16 seconds.
Eventually. 4 Phoenixes come in, they could lift 1 Swarm Host at a time, you know, or all of them.
Oh, that's better than killing the Locusts, just removing the Swarm Host from play. Still blink forward for it. Again, their cooldown is 5 seconds to go. I did not realize this. Graviton Beam stops the cooldown of Locusts. That doesn't seem right. That's got to be a bug.
That doesn't seem right.
While
is there
those
anything else that would be equivalent to that?
Like, it shouldn't act as a time stop. Like, I think Stim still cools down, right? Like, or not, I guess Stim would have a cooldown. What else would?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of what else is a cooldown.
Ravager shots?
Ravager shots, that's true.
These are things
I think Ravager shots would be the most common one, but I don't think I've ever paid attention.
Because there's no way that's intentional. That's acting more like a stasis trap. Because the stasis trap makes sense. It stops time, so things don't cool down. That makes sense. That just lifts you in the sky. That should not stop cooldowns like that. Did we just find the sickest bug?
Maybe.
Oh, don't we have like an email thing we can use?
Ravagers around so we could test it. killed all the Ravagers.
Well, we just saw that here. I don't know if it's a bug or intended, guys. Report it, I guess. If you're Zerg, if you're not, then let it slide. Look, it's coming out again. Not that many, though. It's going to be hard to get the damage he wants. A couple of Banelings collide. SortOf's army supply still holding up, but his drone count has fallen off really hardcore behind this. Small attempt at a counterattack, but a massive warping of 8 Stalkers to defend. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they'll be reinforcing later. Neeb is winning this game. He hasn't won it quite yet, but killing the 4th base like that's killing most of the army. Sort of doesn't have a response, and the Swarm hosts can only help once every like 45 seconds.
I really don't think the Locusts were to go for Swarm hosts and go for Locusts. I don't think were the wrong choice for this game. It's just unfortunate because they really aren't working out. Being lifted up again. Yeah, the cooldown completely stops. So 16 seconds remaining. These ones are 9 seconds remaining. Yeah, GG.
Interesting.
All right, well, Neeb takes a 2-0 lead in the series. We got to accidentally science some bugs with StarCraft. And yeah, I guess we'll just go to commercial break from here. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for that shout out from Hot in chat, or Hot SC2. I have to, again, I'm sorry, I gotta use my phone today, guys. It sucks. The text is, what is it? Phone made for, text made for ants? I don't know. Anyways, we'll see you guys soon. 2 minutes. All right, folks. Whoop. There we go. I'm always a little bit late with that button. Thank you so much for watching that commercial break, but we are getting into game number 3. Now, this has been a little bit more one-sided than our other semifinals, granted, but an interesting series nonetheless. In the top right, he currently leads 2-0. It's going to be the North American Ting's own Neeb.
In the bottom left is the blue Zerg. He is SortOf, and the last remaining European.
Ah, that's a good point. Yeah, the European Corsair Cup being dominated by combination Koreans and North Americans right now.
Feels like the IAM qualifiers, am I right, guys? Hey.
Well, not North Americans.
Well, yeah, they were. Well, hey, Scarlet tried.
She did. She did. She gave it a. I guess True is kind of the pseudo North American now.
Yeah,
but
she's kind of the honorary Korean, actually. They swapped places.
That's some like Freaky Friday StarCraft level stuff right there.
Well.
But anyways, I don't know. This for me, it's kind of cool. At the same time, a little bit sad though, because we've talked about this. We've actually had some almost Twitter fights with some of the Europeans about this, where like European representation for the Corsair Cup has gone down over time, and we're actually seeing more consistent showings of people like Keen and Alive and Billowy and Tails and a bunch of other Koreans than we're even seeing out of the North American home field players. I mean, shoutouts to go to people like TLO and Snoot who do compete fairly regularly, but even Nurchio has been pretty on and off for someone who used to play very consistently. We haven't seen Euthermal in God knows how long. Like, there's not really a lot of big European representation. I mean, big shoutouts to the folks like Fear and Optimus who've kind of been rising through the ranks and surprising us with their playstyle recently. But again, no the big dogs, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, it is more about the new guard coming up, and yeah, not much else.
That is a positive thing, by the way. I don't make this sound like doom and gloom and like we're whiny because like, oh, famous players aren't playing in our tournament. But that's kind of what the weekly cups are for, like to show the rise of good players and new players. I mean, look at the Ting Open qualifiers. Denver? How many of you guys even heard of Denver before he beat a laser, right? Like, it's... I have always enjoyed watching the up-and-comers. My biggest, I think, favorite of all time has got to be Bunny. I remember casting Bunny like 4 fucking years ago, back when he was on like Vega Squadron, before Team Liquid even had their eyes on him, and he was still like a nobody Masters Terran. Then he became, for a brief time, like one of the best Terrans in Europe. It was really cool to watch that rise over time. So again, with these new guys, maybe Optimus and Fear and Denver and these other guys aren't going to be the next bunnies of the universe. But I'm really proud to say that I'm glad that these cups that we host give them the opportunity to maybe be those next step ups. Yeah, people always reference with Scarlet 2 back with the dailies. What were those called? Playhems or whatever.
Yeah. I didn't actually think she participated in any of the actual dailies. She was well known for just winning the tournament they had for up-and-coming players that they flew out to.
It was before
IPO,
my time.
I think.
I never got to see any of those. I just see the references from over time.
Yeah, that's all references. I was getting into StarCraft pretty heavily around the time, so like I saw the news basically when it broke, right? It was a big deal. But anyway, I had a joke, then you went all passion-like, so keep it, and then...
Oh, I'm sorry.
fine. And then the other point is,
Do I just tell the joke
Yeah,
anyways? Was it good?
no, it wasn't good at all. You know, you just would have been like, anyway. So it's probably better no one ever done it.
We can't. Now I feel really bad. Why you gonna phrase it like that?
I know I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but all right. So I agree. I like seeing the new up and comers as well, but it's kind of funny how we phrase it. It's like, hey, these guys aren't joining our tournaments anymore, but you know it's good because like other people are joining.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would not be upset watching like the full roster of Team Liquid or anyone else come play, but there's like when Pro League died, there's silver lining, right?
Yeah. But we have. Okay, no, this is not early enough to be anything too severe. I saw Banelands and Evolution Chamber, got pretty excited, but SortOf is not going to be abusing, again, Neeb's usual lack of a mothership core. This game, no mothership core, but
Yeah, that's
it
been
doesn't matter.
pretty consistent.
Yeah, he always gets a late mothership core. Even against players he really should not be doing that to. SortOf makes a little more sense because SortOf isn't known as someone who does a lot of playing all-ins, but it's like always a danger. Third game in, maybe they figured you out. Oh well. He is totally prepared for this, though, and if Neeb accidentally transfers into Banelings, a counterattack might be really good.
He gets some pretty decent hits on the tail end of those adepts, and it looks like the Queens and the Link should be able to push this back. I don't think he's left with enough to exactly counterattack with, but he completely halts the assault of Neeb.
In a weird way, Neeb running into the Banelings like he did still made it more effective, because if he wasn't clumped up, he was in a line, so it still wasn't the worst hits possible. And there is no counter. Sort of went right back into droning. There's 30 extra Lings and 5 extra Banelings. He might have been able to stop Neeb from securing his third base. But that is a maybe. It's not this game.
Wow. By the way, sorry, I'm not trying to get caught up in chat, but DDman14 just wrote the creepiest shit in chat. Anyone else have a bug that comes into your room at night and whispers scary things into your ear?
See, that's not creepy to me. What's creepy to me is when a bug goes into your ear.
Well, that's what it's doing, to whisper. It's not like the bug doesn't come in your room and go from the corner of your room and like whisper, shout like, "Hey!"
Really? Because that's what it sounds like.
Knives and clowns.
That's what it sounds like he's saying it does.
No, it sounds like it comes into his room, crawls into his ear, and then whispers things like.
No, because by far the creepiest thing about that is not that he whispers things, that it's in your ear.
Ugh, and what if it's like a fuzzy bug too? Ugh.
I'm actually not too worried about whether it's fuzzy or not. I think a cockroach in my ear is just as bad as a caterpillar.
I was gonna say, what's grosser, like something fuzzy or something slimy in your ear? Like, ugh. Get a slug in there? No, thank you.
I don't think it matters. I don't think you'll be paying attention to the feeling of it.
Yeah, you're probably just screaming. All right, attack commences. And speaking of screaming, it might just be SortOf who's screaming. Neeb's got some really good force fields to start this off, and he does walk towards the ramp. I was wondering if he was going to do this or not. If he gets to the top of the ramp, he force fields from behind. That locks out the Queens. There's no Ravagers, but he's going to recall.
Okay, all right.
So never mind. All for naught. No hype here.
That was very close. If SortOf had not already been prepping with army units, he would not have had enough, and it would have been game over. So that was a dangerous little thing.
Well, that's really funny to watch happen because I feel like that more conventionally comes with the Warp Prism. That doesn't come from walking in and just like waltzing down the natural into the main.
Yeah, it's true. That was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that didn't actually end up panning out. So things calmed down, but Neeb has managed to get a probe lead for like, I want to say like more than 30 seconds, sort of only just reaching back up. And even though it looked something like an all-in, being that dedicated, it really wasn't. That was just, you know, circumstances.
Look at the income graph, though. Probe lead or not, he's been killing it.
Yeah.
All right, well, Neeb is continuing to push on the left side of the map. It's cleaning up creep. I really don't know if this is still strong enough force to break this. There's a lot of roaches, a lot of lings. Maybe not that many banelings, but more than enough at least to deal with the force fields. Ravagers, that is. Excuse me.
Well, the rocks being broken down is the first time I think I've seen on Proxima so far.
Oh.
Well, no. Hero did do it, but nothing ever went back to it.
That's right. There's a ton of spine crawlers, if you recall.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see how this path turns out.
Just in regard to Maroon Pirate, by the way, I'll answer your question after this game, dude, if you're still listening.
Well, stalkers go in so they can blink out the safety of the force field. Except those two. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. This is not. I mean, this has been a good defense out of SortOf, but we also saw good defenses in the previous games that just kind of fell apart anyways. So I think most Protoss players at this point, I'm worried for them. Not Neeb, and that's just based on the 2-0 he's got on the board already. But another recall in order. He'll save most of the units. Oh, the stalkers actually blink away, so they might even get out alive too. But they're running back, and there's not a lot to run back to.
Well, there's enough. There's a repositioning that's still very effective.
Yeah, but it's still a big, wide open engagement area for SortOf around this base, right? Like, this is going to be... I guess a couple of overcharges will certainly assist. He is whittling away at a lot of the Lings that if SortOf doesn't realize his cannon fodder is suddenly missing, those Roaches and Ravagers, they'll be next.
Yeah, this pressure looked scary when Neeb was still a little out of position, but it's not much. SortOf's already trying to transition.
11 Ravager shots. I was wondering how much that was to just rain down.
So now leaving Chase, though, this was the danger of both of them being as aggressive as they were, and SortOf's the one that's getting punished for it most without recall.
Yeah, the blink ins, by the way, so sick watching that focus. Like, he'll blink in, and it's not just to randomly attack, it is to focus fire down one of the Ravagers, like precision surgical strikes, if you will. But you mentioned recall a moment ago. I actually got to bring that up, because that happened in the series versus Snoot. It's happened a little bit here in this series versus SortOf. Neeb's been on point with his recalls in a lot of these games.
16 Banelings as he also hit the gold.
16 Banelings? I thought 16 probes died.
Probes. 16 probes and 8 Banelings, alright? Like, it was a factor of 2, whatever, shut up. Base.
No, but that was a great counterattack. SortOf needed something to happen, and finally getting some probe kills is certainly something worth having happen. However, it didn't touch on the army. Neeb's still pretty much maxed out, or close to it rather, and plus 3's on the way with so many Blink Stalkers available.
Thank you very much for the donation. It's a weird message though, so I guess we'll wait till after the action.
Okay.
Thanks, Smallpox. Thanks, Smallpox.
Thanks, Smallpox, for taking care of 90% of the population in medieval times. Actually, did they wipe out the
plague? That was
the
American.
No, it was the North American, like Indians and Native Americans, excuse me, that got hit by the smallpox.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. That's why I said thanks, Smallpox. Like it.
I guess America. Smallpox made America great. Period. The end.
12 more probes get killed,
Damn.
and he finds himself at 40 from a very strong 65. I think he was at.
Yeah, for someone who had been just dominating the income graphs at the start of this game, he keeps getting caught off guard by a couple of these units here and there.
Neeb still has a very strong army for it, though. Still nearly maxed out. Or taking probe losses means that his army's 40 armor supply above. Kind of almost runs into Banelings, though. Quick blink back. Time warp on Ravager.
Oh, jeez. Banelings actually get to the heart of the Stalkers. A lot of them blink away, but a lot die. But the +3 weapons on what is purely Stalkers remaining, I think will get the job done. SortOf's got money. 52 Lings are on the way. I mean, there's a recall if this gets really dicey.
Yeah, if he had a war prism, I think it's absolutely game over for SortOf, but maybe if he found himself in a position where he's fully surrounded, he could still lose his army.
Oh, I thought the Mothership Core was going to die for sure. Well, she still might to the Queens.
Is.
That means there's no escape plan anymore. But he kills all the Lings on the backside. Oh, SortOf's he's just filtering in, and that's not going to work. Not with the army supplies looking like what they do. Sentry's finally joining up with that front line against some Guardian shields, force fields available.
Second time, SortOf's in a pretty damn good position, but then was unable to defeat Neeb's mass Blink Stalker army. This had even less Immortals.
This was
just Stalkers.
What's really cool for me though is this was two completely different styles against two different Zerg players. Like, he played very differently against Snoot than he played against SortOf.
That's true too. Yeah. Well, plating is almost done, and Ultra's on the way, and I just said there aren't as many Immortals as that first game, so it's like a potential, but it's not gonna be enough. Not on time. GG. 3 zeros.
GG. That means Neeb goes on to the finals, and hey, we got some PvT action going down then. The question is though, and like, if they can't come to agreement, we'll force them to play on Europe, but this might be a preferential America server finals, like.
Yeah, well, I'll ask him, but real quick, thank you to, well, actually, I guess we have a bit of catch up on Raugin for 12 months. First stream of sub for a year straight. You guys rock, keep up, keep it up, Ace 22. Short, joining 150 bits. Thanks for all your great casting. Waited silent for 21 months, and Smallpox gonna do $5. Plan on doing a lot of traveling this year. You should get a herd of South African camelids. They'll alpaca for ya. Also, did you know the claustrophobic are great at thinking outside the box?
I feel like those are some good puns, but I actually don't know how the camel one is like what.
The camelids.
Yeah,
Because I guess camels and alpaca are like.
Some of it makes sense. I'll give you like a 5 out of 10 on that one, bro. So like 1 thumb up, not 2. But thank you.
Camelids the name of the family actually? Hold on.
Oh.
Look this up. I'm going to science.
Okay, well, thank you for the donation nonetheless. We'll be getting the best of 5 finals going here in just a moment. To answer Maroon Pirate, he's asking if there's a way to send me a gift. Normally, I wouldn't trust a stranger with my address, but you've been super generous. So I would say yes, depending on what it is. But more importantly, we have to put like a pin in it because as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I just got accepted for a new apartment. I know the address of the apartment, but I don't know like its postal code or anything, so I wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to get mail to me right now, basically. So, if you're super adamant about it, and I don't know if like are you gonna send me a box full of dildos? Like I don't know, like because that's happened before, by the way. Someone sent my sister a box full of dildos and sex toys and a blow up doll. So that was like 3 years ago, but still, ever since then I've been very paranoid of my address. So send me a message if it's something you really, really are passionate about sending. We can work something out. But right now, I have no idea how you would get anything to me because I don't know how to get anything to me. But I thank you for the sentiment either way. So commercial break of 2 minutes. Grand finals coming up. We'll find out what server we're playing on, and we'll see you guys in a bit.